A lot of us. There's still ways to go. Got off to a little bit of a slow start in the River Valley. Snow moved in northwest Arkansas pretty early. Look at those temperatures. That cold air, I really expected it was going to push further towards the south in the River Valley. The good news, the fact that it didn't, it means we avoided a lot of sleet. Unfortunately, we still have a little bit of a mixed bag out there. It kind of depends on where you're at. Some areas of some freezing rain across the River Valley. We hate that. That's no good. We've had a big burst of snow. Looks like that band getting ready to push back towards Ozark, eventually over into Johnson County. Had some reports out of Subiaco earlier of a sleet snow mix. That transition isn't always smooth, right? There's probably going to be some windshield wipering back and forth for the next couple of hours. Meanwhile, in northwest Arkansas, all snow. That's going to be expected the rest of this evening from Bentonville through Rogers, back towards Prairie Grove, Huntsville, Eureka Springs as well. Now we get into the River Valley. Here's where things are still transitioning out there. It's not necessarily going to be a constant steady precipitation. You find some breaks there, here and there. Mostly dry from Hartman through Clarksville right now, back towards Paris and Boonville, but you got some more developing in parts of LaFleur, Sequoia County. That's all going to be tracking across the state line over into the River Valley over the next few hours as those temperatures are just waffling right there on that freezing mark. Well, you're going to have some back and forth. Southern LaFleur, we've seen a little bit today, not a whole lot. It really was this general area. We really didn't expect more than a trace, upwards of about 2 inches on the high end. That's still pretty much on track going into the rest of this evening. I showed you that Chester camera. This is going to be looking south along I-49. Watch these bridges and overpasses first. Those are always the first to go. And keep this in mind. Snowflakes falling right there right now, but that freezing rain out there could very well result in that thin layer of ice across parts of the area. So even though it might not look as pretty, it's probably going to be just as treacherous. We're keeping a close eye on temperatures. We're down to 31 in Van Buren. Fort Smith's been hovering right at that 32-degree mark. Once we see that budge down to 31, I think we're going to start to see even more impactful issues. Meanwhile, we're definitively freezing. Everything's sticking to the ground in northwest Arkansas. Here in the River Valley, we're tinkering right on the line where things are about to turn tricky out there. Once that happens, and with the sun beginning to set soon, that's certainly not going to help matters. We'll have future casts coming up for you here in just a few.
Thanks, Scott. Forecaster Joshua Weisel has been keeping a close eye on some road conditions for us.
Yeah, he's joining us now from our 5 News Storm Chaser. And Josh, how are things where you are right now? It's not getting any better at all.
Yeah, and we're on I-49. We just passed Wagon Wheel Road, and we're headed south right now. And you can see there's these whiteout conditions right now across this portion of the highway. I mean, we've been in these whiteout conditions since probably just south of Rogers, and you can see there's a lot of traffic on the road right now. We've seen some drivers with their hazards on. One thing to note is I've seen a bunch of vehicles that have a bunch of snow and ice on the roof of their car or the back windshield. Make sure before you head out on the road that you clear that off of your car the best you can so that doesn't become a hazard for other drivers on the roads. We've seen these little areas of sheets of ice and snow on the roofs of cars kind of blowing off as they're making their way on the highway. So make sure you clear that off pretty good so that's not a hazard to other drivers. You can see there's a couple of snow plows across the area. These roads, they've been treated, but they are still slick. I mean, there's been a couple of times where it's gotten pretty sketchy, especially in the turn of I-49 near Bethel Heights and Lowell. So we're headed south. We're keeping a close eye on this. We've noticed that there is some snow drift, a couple of inches along the wall in the center of the highway. Visually, maybe about 3+, where that snow is being blown into the wall. So there's a good amount of snow on the sides of the road. The road itself is slick with a layer over it, but right now it's not, you know, a ton of snow directly on the road. It's just that thin layer that kind of compacts and then it becomes slick. So just if you're headed out, just take it easy. If you absolutely have to get out, take it slow. Otherwise, just stay in. That's the best information that we can pass along. So head it back to the station.
Good advice there. Thank you, Joshua. Well, as we just saw, the snow is blanketing northwest Arkansas, Benton County, Washington County. It is just a winter wonderland out there.
And Washington County is where we find 5 News reporter Kayla Davis live out there. And it's not getting any better where you are as well.
That's right. The snow is still coming on down and it's getting colder. At 12, it wasn't so bad, but I feel like as the day continues on, it is getting a little cold. My feet are cold right now. But Washington County says the difference between this storm and the snowstorm that we experienced last month, like Scott has already told you, is the fact that they're going to be experiencing sub-zero temperatures. And for the crews that are out here, you just saw a crew car come down this way and another one right here. For these crews that are our essential workers that are out here trying to clear these roads for us, the biggest thing is going to be making sure that they stay safe in those sub-zero temperatures, their equipment doesn't break down in those super cold temperatures, and the fact that because it's so cold, the snow that is eventually going to turn into ice is going to take much longer to melt. So they're doing everything that they can for us, and all they're asking is that you guys stay off the roads as much as you can. But that doesn't mean you still can't have any fun. Like we told you last time, it's getting really pretty out here, and there's enough snow for you guys at home to make some snowballs and whatnot. I can't make a snowman right now, but obviously it's going to keep continuing to build up. So have some fun, just stay off of our roads. But I'm going to send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Kayla. Keep working on that snowman. It looks
Exactly,
like the snow needs to change a little bit, get a little bit wetter, and then it's a really good
dry.
snowman. All right, we are checking in with the Arkansas Department of Transportation. The crews have been working around the clock to get the roads ready for all this.
Yeah, Dave Parker joining us now from Little Rock. And Dave, we talked about this in our 3 o'clock hour. What is the situation now with what you guys have done ahead of this and what you're doing right now?
So far, so good. You know, we've had a relatively low number of accidents and problems in Northwest Arkansas. We just got off a winter weather coordination call 20 minutes ago, and our Northwest counties are reporting they've made at least 2 passes on the interstates and main highways, meaning they've tried to clear as much as they can, and it's coming down pretty good. They'll go back and make a 3rd and a 4th pass later tonight. We've got a new shift of workers coming in at 6. They'll work 6 to 6 a.m. South of the tunnel, it's starting to pick up a little bit as well. North of the tunnel, you're already getting it pretty hard. So it's coming in as we expected. We hope the pre-treating we did days ago pays off. Here in Central Arkansas, the sleet has really picked up in the last 15 minutes. It's starting to felt pretty good. So unfortunately, things are coming in like all the meteorologists said that would.
We can see it on your jacket. Thank you for stepping outside to talk with us. And Dave, we know that we are seeing a lot of snow right now in Northwest Arkansas. Different story down in the River Valley where they could get, it's just a big mix right now. With freezing rain, sleet, a little bit of snow, and of course that will change throughout the evening. Did RDOT have different treatments to pre-treat the roads with compared to when you're looking at Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley?
Everyone started out with the salt brine and beet juice mixture, you know, yesterday and the day before, actually. But River Valley is getting a little bit of what we're going to get, you know, with that freezing rain. So I would rather have all the snow that Northwest Arkansas is getting versus the River Valley. So yes, River Valley, we switched over. We're putting down salt, or excuse me, putting down rock salt. Long day, putting down rock salt, and it's a solid. You know, it actually hits the ground, and the wet freezing rain and snow helps it activate and helps create more of a layer that way. So yeah, River Valley's going to get a little bit hit hard here in the next couple of hours for sure.
All right, Dave Parker from RDOT, thanks for joining us again, and we'll be chatting with Dave a bit later this afternoon. Now, as you mentioned, parts of Fort Smith expected to see some impacts as that snow moves through. It's
been a mixed bag,
yeah.
And Lauren Spencer is live in Fort Smith. She was showing us just a little bit ago. Lauren, what does it look like there right now? I know you're covered. You've taken shelter under an awning right now. Is it raining, seeing freezing rain, sleet, any snow out there?
I heard an expression once that said, if you don't like the weather in Arkansas, just wait a few minutes and it's going to change. And that's kind of what's happening here right now. We've experienced rain today. We've experienced some sleet. That's why we did take cover under this awning. And now it's actually snowing, which is, I think, what everyone wants to see down here. Everyone wants to see the snow. Maybe not everyone, but more people than the sleet or the rain. It's definitely not sticking yet, but it's coming down slowly but surely. I think that we'll maybe see some accumulation here within the next few hours and maybe going to see some travel impacts here. I talked with the city of Fort Smith, who said that they've been pre-treating their roads since Sunday. For pre-treating, they're focused on bridges, steep hills, and overpasses. They're going to be doing 24-hour coverage with about 6 trucks out at a time. They're using a sand salt mixture for additional traction. Josh Bufink with the city says they've really had no issues from the last storm in January, and they're going to take that mindset into this one.
Crews know how to handle storms like this. They work extremely hard and they make sure our roadways stay safe, and that was evidenced in the last storm that we had. We were able to get to not just our major roadways, but able to plow our residential roadways.
The city of Fort Smith, you can also follow them on Facebook as well as get email updates to see if there's any disruptions to if it's roads or public transit. Definitely a good option to use there if you want to keep yourself informed. In Sebastian County, for their county roads, they said that they were pre-treating all day yesterday and they were going to pre-treat again today until the precipitation got too heavy. They were going to have to stop because then it would wash it all away. But we're going to keep you guys updated as we learn more and see more snow coming down here. Send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Lauren. I do hope Fort Smith gets a little bit of snow.
It'd
be nice to see it coated so everyone there can enjoy that winter wonderland feeling. Well, we have a list of all the closings scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. You can also just scan that QR code on the right. That will take you directly to all of the up-to-date closings and delays page on our website, 5newsonline.com.
And we were just told that Bentonville and Rogers have called in classes canceled tomorrow, along with Fayetteville. We do have a list, as you were mentioning, there on our website. So if you need to check it out, get onto the website.
We're still waiting for Fort Smith because I think they're waiting to see what happens with this weather.
Yes.
Tricky forecast in the River Valley, no question about it. We keep transitioning back and forth between snow, a little bit of freezing rain, and look, we hate that. A little bit of sleet at times. That's going to continue to be the trend for the next hour or two. Even with that tricky transition, road conditions, as you'll see here on the RDOT map, getting a little bit further towards the south. In fact, you got 59 between, let's say, Cedarville and Van Buren, now partly covered in some ice slush. Looks like 49 between Alma all the way up through northwest Arkansas, having some issues there as well. Seeing some of those slush spots reported on 40 between, let's say, Lamar all the way through Knoxville there in Johnson County. So road conditions slowly but surely deteriorating there across parts of the River Valley. Here's live radar. We got more to go. We're probably in the middle part of this event. A few more hours of this snow, sleet mix. It's all going to eventually transition over into snow later this evening. We'll have the latest future cast and accumulation expectations here in just a few.
All right, Scott, thanks. Thanks to everyone who has been sending us photos of you and your family having a lot. I submit to you, there is not a better picture than a dog out in the snow.
They're so happy. Look, oh wait, is that deer? Bottom or middle? Towards the right at the bottom? Wow.
Oh, yeah, there's Scott's dog right there.
Oh, Scott, your dogs are so happy.
Don't forget to send us your photos of the snow and what you are seeing where you are. Just text those pictures and videos to the number there on your screen, 785-5000. We are back with more winter weather coverage.